Get ready for the morning rush. We start with Kristen Curry.
Good morning. Next big weather maker doesn't move in until Thursday. So for today, we've got sunshine, a little bit of cloud cover here and there, but nothing in the way of significant rain or snow. Tomorrow looks to be just as nice. We'll get the winds on Wednesday ahead of our next storm system, but expect rain and snow to come back in by Thursday. Crystal?
Now to some breaking news. Just into our newsroom, a Kremlin spokesman says our U.S. Intelligence Committee is, quote, confused after it heard a testimony from FBI Director James Comey about an investigation into the Russian ties of President Trump's associates. The Kremlin is now dismissing claims that President Vladimir Putin authorized a campaign to influence the U.S. election. We will have more on what the FBI director's testimony was coming up in the 5 Facts. On to other news happening today. The hearing continues for President Trump's pick to be the next Supreme Court Justice Neil Gorsuch. On deck for today, a day of questions for Gorsuch. This comes a day after opening statements yesterday. Republicans bragged about Gorsuch's resume. Democrats expressed frustrations that the Senate never considered former President Obama's pick to fill that seat. On to new news this morning as the House vote for a repeal and replacement of Obamacare is just 2 days away. House Republican leaders released a package of amendments to modify the GOP bill. It's an effort to appease both sides of the debate who have expressed reservations of the bill. Many of the amendments make changes to Medicaid. And on to news happening today. The man accused of gunning down a Navajo Nation police officer is scheduled for his first court appearance. This before a federal judge. McKinley County authorities identified the suspect as Kirby Cleveland. He has been in custody since the deadly shooting of Officer Houston James Largo that happened just last week. The Albuquerque Public Schools finds itself in the crosshairs of a lawsuit after a family's complaint about how elementary school staff treated their child. According to the lawsuit, the couple says staff at McCollum Elementary School used physical force to restrain their daughter, who's autistic. The district says it cannot comment on pending lawsuits. And new this morning, Santa Fe is eyeing a return of speed vans. According to the Santa Fe New Mexican, 3 Santa Fe city councilors want to bring them back. They're citing a police report that says there's an increase in speeders and accidents. In 2014, the city decided not to renew its contract with Redflex. Today, Santa Fe police officers are scheduled to pitch the idea once again to the city's Public Safety Committee. On to new and happening news today. The United States will implement a temporary ban of large electronic devices from being carried onto planes for some passengers. It will only affect airline passengers arriving on flights from 8 Middle Eastern and North African countries, the ones on your TV screens here. Sources tell CBS News it's based on intelligence gathered and not a specific threat. On to developing news now this morning. The company building the Dakota Access Pipeline says the project remains on track to start moving oil this week. This despite recent coordinated physical attacks along that line. 2 American Indian tribes have battled the $3.8 billion pipeline in court for months now. They're arguing it's a threat to water. The company has said the pipeline will be safe. On to news this morning. Albuquerque police are asking for your help finding 2 men who may have witnessed a murder. Ricardo Ruiz was shot and killed near the Bob's Burgers Central in 46th Street on March 12th. Detectives need your help identifying these 2 men on your TV screens. If you know who they are or anything about this case, you're asked to call police. It's now up to a judge to decide if a teen charged in the death of an Albuquerque bartender should be punished as an adult. Andrew Hubler is one of 6 teens charged for his role in the murder of Stephen Garrick. Hubler was 16 at the time of the murder. It happened in 2015. If sentenced as an adult, Hubler faces up to 21 years in prison. The U.S. could be facing a peach disaster at the moment. Last week's blast of wintry weather has nearly wiped out South Carolina's peaches. Officials say 2 days of temperatures in the 20s destroyed about 85% of the state's peach crop. South Carolina is the 2nd largest producer of peaches in the U.S. That's right behind California. Send things to Kristen now.
Will begin removing non-native Russian olive, salt, cedar, elm trees along the Rio Grande as a result of recent bosque fires. They say they're anticipating an above normal wildfire season, and if a fire sparks in those areas, it could threaten lives and property. Now that will be a top concern as we transition into tomorrow. We already have a fire weather watch in effect starting tomorrow morning in the Albuquerque area. So today's going to be that last final day of near perfect conditions. Metro threat index at a 0 because of our warm temperatures in the 80s, sunshine and light winds about 5 to 15 out of the southwest. We will continue to update you on those fire dangers. Sarah?
A New Mexico State University professor has developed a maple tree that is now patented. In the spring of 2018, the Mesa Globe maple will hit retail markets. It took nearly 2 decades of researching maples, looking at maps, and collecting seeds to develop the tree that is similar to the big-tooth maple found in mountainous regions of the Southwest. Except this tree can withstand dry climate, salty soil, and a lot of sunlight. Crystal?
This morning, some Lobo fans are likely wiping away tears. Next year, Lobo basketball will be without its leading scorer. Elijah Brown announced he will not return to the team. He'll soon graduate and will transfer to another school to finish off his senior season. Brown has not said which school he'll attend next. We'll let you know. Send things back to Kristen.
Time now for a check on your Tuesday morning commute. One incident to tell you about, that's Wyoming at Zuni. That was reported about 45 minutes ago, so watch that area. Everything else was moving clean and green. We'll let you know if anything happens.
It could be a busy time to fly right now. It's estimated a record 145 million U.S. passengers will fly this spring. Traffic is expected to increase 4% over last year. Airlines are adding seats to handle that massive crowd between March 1st and April 30th. Meanwhile, airlines are reporting another highly profitable year come 2016, or in 2016 rather. Game of Thrones lovers, listen up. According to the Journal, famed author George R.R. Martin is starting a new film project in Santa Fe, creating a 30,000 square foot nonprofit office and production facility. It's called the Stagecoach Foundation. It will open to both major Hollywood productions and beginning film entrepreneurs. Okay, right here, this photo is going viral this morning. Amazon CEO Jeff Bezos posted a photo of himself testing out a giant mechanical robot suit. He was at the company's exclusive Mars conference. The robot is almost 14 feet tall. It was designed by a South Korean company. How crazy is that?
Wow, yeah, that's a big robot.
Yeah, it reminds me of Transformers.
It does, it looks like it.
Wow. All right. Time now for the 5 facts.
We'll start with number 5. Next time you visit the biopark, you'll see a new friend. It's a new Malayan tiger. The 6-year-old tiger arrived at the biopark from the Jacksonville Zoo in February. He's been in quarantine since then, getting used to his new surroundings. The Rio Grande Zoo was without a tiger exhibit since Scout the Bengal tiger died last year.
Now to number 4 now. As we await for the governor to call a special session, we've learned the budget passed by lawmakers has yet to reach her desk due to clerical requirements. It can take about a week or longer. Lawmakers sent a budget that does include tax increases. The governor has promised to veto such bill.
At number 3, warm temperatures today in the 80s near record highs across central and eastern areas. A little cooler over the northeast, but no rain or snow, just sunshine and light winds.
On to number 2 now. Again, there are no longer charges in a high-profile extreme animal cruelty case, this time on the grounds of double jeopardy. In Las Vegas, Hubble and several other dogs were found chained outside a home in 2015. They were left without food or water. Here's Hubble. He eventually died. Attorneys for the owner claimed double jeopardy, saying he's already faced consequences for the case when he was forced to give up his animals for a civil court order. On to number 1 now. This morning, President Trump set to address House Republicans on Capitol Hill in preparation of their vote come Thursday to overhaul Obamacare. This comes a day after FBI Director James Comey told Congress his agency is investigating whether the Trump campaign colluded with Russia during the election. The president is standing his ground, tweeting that there was no evidence of collusion. The FBI director also said the agency has no evidence to back up President Trump's claims that Obama wiretapped or called for surveillance of Trump Tower before the election. The NSA director agreed with that statement. A Senate Intelligence Committee is scheduled to hold a similar hearing that is scheduled for later on this month. We'll let you know what happens.